And if I told you once, I ain't gonna tell you twice. Salute all my real ones. Yeah. Listen, champ, we got solution to the grandfather paradox. I don't know what the grandfather paradox is. Is it that my grandfather is really my son? Look, think about that. Think about that. We gonna get straight into the video. Like button, subscribe on, notification bell, press those. Let's go.
As far as we know, time only moves in one direction, forward. But if you could loop back to visit the universe at an earlier point in time, a famous paradox arises. What if you killed your grandfather when he was a child? Then your father or mother wouldn't have been born, so you wouldn't have been born, so you wouldn't have...
Stop. That's actually not true. Because basically that's what they tried to do in Back to the Future. In reality, what would happen is that you would go back in time, for whatever messed up reason, kill your grandfather, but you would create an alternate reality where your grandfather doesn't exist and your parents aren't born and you aren't born. But the reality in which you came from, you would still exist. And that will become your past, and that new reality will become your future. Y'all like how I explained that? Yo, listen, for a guy with a GED, I kind of broke it down kind of dope. And just for that, y'all got to give me a like button, man. You know what I'm saying? A guy from Harlem breaking down time and time paradox.
Have been able to go back in time to kill your grandfather in the first place. Paradox. The simplest resolution to the grandfather paradox is that when you go back in time, you're actually not going back into your own history, but to a copy, and everything you do there influences the new alternate future of that universe, not your own past.
It's not a copy. It's the moment that you kill him, it creates a new branch in the timeline.
But that's boring because it just avoids the paradox. If what you do when you go back in time actually influences your own past, and the effects of your time travel do loop back to the present, future, past, no problem. Let's just follow the paradoxical timeline through beyond its paradoxical conclusion. You go back in time, kill your grandfather, thus you aren't born, so you can't go back in time, thus your grandfather isn't killed, thus you are born, so you go back in time and kill your grandfather, and so on. I'm showing this as a looping linear series of events, but really it's two entangled histories happening in parallel. Is that even possible? Well, I don't know about the time travel part, but subatomic particles regularly do multiple different things in parallel. It's called quantum superposition and is responsible for the weirdness of the double slit experiment, many properties of atoms and molecules, fusion in the sun's core, and so on. So if the universe were to exist in a superposition of two states, your grandfather's alive and your grandfather is dead, then the natural result is a superposition of two states. You're born and able to go back in time to kill your grandfather, and you're not born. And the natural result of these is a superposition of two states. Your grandfather is dead and your grandfather is alive. And so, at least from a logical perspective, this looping timeline is entirely consistent and there's no paradox. And a similar paradox-free solution can be obtained by viewing the problem as a steady-state solution to a Markov chain, but I won't go into that here. Now, of course, nothing about these solutions to the grandfather paradox suggests that closed time loops are actually possible. In fact, some of the implications this kind of time loop have in the study of complexity theory seem to suggest that time loops, and thus time travel into the past, must be impossible. But the main point is sometimes we think a situation creates a paradox when it doesn't, and really the only paradox is how our thinking can be twisted enough to dream up time-traveling murderous grandsons, but not twisted enough to think about twisting time.
Yeah, so the only thing that he glossed over that in that video was the fact that superposition in quantum theory applies to the quantum realm, and it doesn't apply to our I don't know whatever realm we exist in as humans, and like on the macro scale, if you want to call it, it doesn't apply. That's why they're always trying to unify the general relativity with quantum physics, right? Because it's almost like they're existing with two different laws. So yeah, that wouldn't apply. Like a human can't be in two places at once. It's just not happening. But that would be crazy. But then I really want to know why that stick figure with the MAGA hat wants to go back in time and kill his grandfather. Like, what did your grandfather do that you want to kill him? You know what I'm saying? I got questions for you. I'm saying, why not just try to resolve the issues with your grandfather? Not only that, but you could go back in time and give him all the stocks, you know, like be like, hey, like, listen, Gramps, you want to invest in IBM and Apple and Google and Amazon and Netflix, you know what I'm saying? You'll be the richest man to ever walk the earth. And then you give yourself and make sure that you give these lotto tickets to me too. You know what I'm saying? I won like 38 lottos in a row. But anyway, let me know what y'all thought about the video right there. Made it long enough. My name is Rain. Catch you on the flip side. RCP to the wait for.